Just trying to help you out, man. Help me help you, man. Help me help you. I need to put this someplace that it will not fall. Oh, hi. Standing turtle. Standing turtle. Don't run. Get rattled, though. That's for sure. Hi, welcome to my tube. My name is Marge. I'm a Heyoka empath. I just like having little talks on how I feel about things. Today I feel pretty okay. Why fight it? These energies have been very hard on me. But today I was basking in some grace of all that I've gone through. I got most of my photo albums are packed away. There aren't, like, I didn't think there were that many. Well, I don't know. We didn't, by comparison of other families, we don't have a lot of family pictures, and I know a lot of people don't have none. And that's kind of sad. I posted on Facebook a picture that I found, and I was thinking, I don't know where it is right now, like the actual physical picture. Because I found it, and then I took a picture of it, and then I don't. Mom said, I showed this picture of Mom, and Mom got real animated, and she got really excited, and she was like, yeah, she's like, that's you. She's like, that's, there you are. So this, I was always barefoot, my feet in the dirt. You know, I had to teach myself how to be grounded. I don't have earth. Grounding is not easy. I have to, God, some people it's just easy. That's who they are. They're grounded. That's who I am. I'm not. And I'm high frequency. I grabbed an electric fence on a ranch out in Palo Cedro, California when I was about... Those are enough to freaking annoy a freaking 1,000-pound bull. I was, 8? Don't tell, because you don't want to get in trouble. Angel kicked me off. I thought it was my brother, but he's no angel to me. It was an angel. It was an unseen time. As soon as it knocked me off it, I felt this kick in my leg, and as soon as it knocked me off, I turned and I kicked my brother, and he freaking nailed me, and he's like, "What'd you do that for?" I said, "You didn't just kick me?" He said, "No." I have so many guardian angels. They're everywhere. They're always protecting me. I keep forgetting to ask them to come hang out, though, lately. I did this morning, because, man, these energies are not fun for me. But it's shifting. I feel a little bit better now. So I wanted to talk about the frequency of control. I know a lot about that. I understand that people that have been under insurmountable control in their youth, either they grow up and they want to continue that reign, or they don't want to freaking have... No, man. Freedom, peace, love, rescue. This is where I got all my dogs. All my babies. All 4. That's how we ended up in New Mexico. It's my commitment to keep all my dogs. It's a lifelong commitment. God willing, I'll be there when they all take their last breath. So, love them. They're my family. So, a lot of people... I grew up because Mom controlled a lot of things and I was a freaking wild child. I mean, I was the weird kid. I had 2 pairs. I found these. I had 2 pairs of coveralls, and that's all I would wear. I look like Nicholas on 8 is Enough. If you don't know who it is, look it up. I look like... I hated them brushing my hair because tangles hurt and stuff. And Grandma used to hold my head because I hated baths, and she used to hold my head under the freaking faucet, and water would go up my nose. Just get it over with. Hurry up, because she didn't want to do it. Just Fuck, people are mean, man. And and Mom and I were talking a little while ago. We have some of the best conversations. And I was telling her, I said, at this point, there's no ill will about anything that happened 40. I just wanted, I'm not even, yeah, and I'm not even mad that I even know what happened when I was a kid. I mean, my whole birth is like shrouded in mystery and whatever. I don't get to know. I got little pieces here and there. There's certain energies in the last couple of years. That's why, like, when eclipse energy, all this energy coming up, it's like, you're going to find out something. I don't want to. I don't want to find nothing out. I'm good. I'm good with things that are exactly. I don't need to know anything about anybody. Because, I found out that, like, I was a bastard a few years ago. After Bob got a DNA test, it came up in 1972, her divorce papers with my dad in 1972. And I was like, that's funny. I was born in 1974. They never mentioned that. But people were always mean to me. I was always the outlet because I, like, make a joke or I just not let it. I would just have this narrative in my mind and I just would, like, not take on their stuff. And people put it on me. And sometimes, and it's not all the time, but there's a lot of stuff. And we're in the season of healing. And I keep thinking that there's a lot of people that need healing. And I got really a lot of vast experience. I'm really kind of fed up with all these spiritualists, these new agers, and everybody reads fucking books and they're good to go, or they fucking trip on ayahuasca for years in the freaking jungle, while some of us are trying to survive. People got to play, and then they're and it's an imbalance, but the balance is coming back into play, people, because it has to, man. We got to get on with this stuff. Stuff has to break, man. It's just getting nuttier and nuttier. And it's like the psychopaths at the top of the pyramid that put themselves up there. They're just, because when egos run wild. Have you ever known, like, extremely rich people? They're really fucking cheap. Like, they'll cheat you. It's like their stuff is their stuff and yours. It's a weird mentality. And people like to use money to control other people. People do a lot of weird stuff to control people. I've seen it my whole life. People would punish me with hurtful words. Like, they always knew how important family was to me. And then they'd say things like, just because we're related doesn't mean I have to love you. And it took a lot of years. But what I came to the conclusion is that they were talking about themselves. Right? Because they know how they treated me. And I was ornery. I was cantankerous. I was never malicious. I was never mean. I was inquisitive. I was thinking about that today. I was having a conversation with Naked and laughing, and I was reminded about, because she was like, how do you get diagnosed as being on the spectrum as an adult? Where do people go to do that? And I said it doesn't matter, because when I was at CVI, I was in junior high, they said I was autistic. I thought they meant artistic. It's because I like to draw and stuff like that all the time. It was very meditative for me. It put me in a blissful space. And, but I was in 1987. Nobody that's a label. What do you do? They put me in a class and, I was in the retard class, essentially. Yeah. And I was reminded, looking at it in retrospect, and she was like, well, good for you, because I was in the Air Force, I went to college, I did all the stuff my brother told me I needed to do to be a good person. I went to AA for 13 years, 14 years. an experience. You know? I just wanted to do the right thing. And I don't like controlling things. I really don't. So I'm one of those kind of people. So we're coming into a place that things are just out of hand. And me talking on here, I'm not gonna, it's not gonna, I connect to people in real life. And it's funny, I'm ordained too. I married my first couple on Tuesday. That was kind of cool. So I can add that to the pile of shit I can do. You know? I just want to help people because so many people feel bad in this world. And I know what it's like to feel bad. Laughter, that's one thing we've had. We might not have had a lot in our life, you know? And we've been in places. I mean, I've had a good job. I worked in Corp USA. I worked in Jesuit University, Creighton, in Omaha. I was on the I was in the Air Force. I mean, I've always felt like an alien. Like I've looked around in these environments. I've put myself just to get experience and go, Marge, what have you done? Because I was just in. I've always spoken my truth in every environment. You know, and I can feel good about that. Yeah. So I was thinking about some of the things that were like when I was younger. Some of the things that, like, well, how would I say it? When we were talking earlier, Ma. See, sometimes I should just like start the recorder and just record our conversations with Ma. I think that people will get a lot out of that. You know what? Because you got a lot of wisdom. We soaked her feet today. It was a feet washing day, and she always peps up and stuff like that. So it's been kind of hard. There's been a lot of smoke in the air in New Mexico. Yeah, I saw on an ad or on a thing that some guy only got 40 years. They like their freaking baby rapers in Mexico. Yeah. They do. Not very lenient. Very lenient. It's a very lenient state. It's just because the personnel is lazy. You know, and there's a lot of freaking crime. There's a lot of alcohol, a lot of drugs. We're right by the border, a lot of human trafficking. Yeah. And these issues are good. People got to start working in their own community and really, you know, letting that kind of spread out because things are getting really, really weird. It's a high turnover right now. It's a high turnover. Clips energy. I'm always like loving on my dogs extra because you get things to clip. You don't know, but I'm always like that though. Whenever I see people, I'm so excited to see them because of my friend Cookie that died, Diane. She must be coming up because it's cool April nights. Chevy's is long gone in Redding, California, but I worked with her in Redding, and she, you know, but she died in a freaking scuba diving accident. So when I didn't say goodbye to her, and I had a chance to, so I carry that with me, and so what? I don't like this song right now. What the hell? What the hell? This place is so crappy. Anyway, so when Mom and I were talking earlier, we were talking about, you know, how things are just stories now. They're just life experience. They're just things that happened, right? And I see so many people today that because of how yeah, you're a kid, you're gonna get controlled. But I had extra limitations. Like, I had really, it sucked. I was diagnosed as hypoglycemic at like 4. How freaking fun? 5? Is that for a 5-year-old kid? And then again, they did another glucose tolerance test when I was, they were always taking my blood. I'm probably part alien in real life. Probably like some magic elixir, and they just freaking, in military, you know, I'm just a test sample. We're all just test samples. It's not just me. So, what was I talking about? I gotta blow my nose. There's so much smoke in the air. I don't hold any ill will for anything. And the reason why I don't, like, my family's very small on my dad's side. Mom's side, I think she's between her first cousins and all that cousins and second, third cousins on Ancestry. Last time I looked, she had over like 1,400 relatives. I'm like, where are all these people? How come they don't know of any places for us to live forever? What? Where's your tribe when you need them? Anyway, it's all divine timing, I hear. So, but like dietary restrictions, we were poor. I mean, we never, like, the circus would come, all the kids in the neighborhood would go to the circus, and freaking, you have to hear about it for a week, you know? Don't even get started on freaking poor people clothes and hand-me-downs and freaking having to walk to the laundromat for a couple miles. I mean, people just don't even know how to go through just life. They just have set society up for themselves that is so incredibly accommodating to them that if anything is out of whack, they're freaking, everything shuts down. People don't know how to cope with anything. And that's another thing that I've been really trying to note. I was like, I'm not going to get mad today. I'm going to not get mad all day long. I'm going to pay attention to my endocrine system. And like, at what time of day, like if I get, you know, I ain't going nowhere today. There's freaking nothing to do. Yeah, so I just hang out with Mom and the dogs and stuff. And I'm always, Ma, you want something to eat? She's eating, life is good. Because when I was in the Air Force, I was in from 00 to 06. They gave me in 03 8 anthrax vaccines, and it was an illegal study. But you know, with the military, rich fucking limp dick dudes, old white limp dicks, they fucking do what they want, and it's fun to just, you know, make money. Because they can't get their wieners erect. So let's fucking ruin some people's lives and feel the power control in that shit, right? It's fucking gross, man. It's gross. It's gross, the thing that the freaking people do. We're seeing it all over the media. That freaking nasty-ass chick that was, I don't know, she was in one, I pretty much stepped out of freaking the world. I kind of keep track just to see the trends of frequency of people and what they're going through. You know, a lot of stuff is right in your face, but that chick, man, and her husband that groomed a 13-year-old girl for years. It's just like, dude, it's everywhere. And people know it. They see it. That's why it's so prevalent. I'm like, dude, that's gross. You know? I saw stuff in the media, these Bobby De Niro's. It's a funny story. Bobby De Niro's with the 28-year-old. It's like, dude, what are her fucking parents? Her parents are probably, oh yeah, he's an actor. That's great. Dude, that's nasty. Where are the people that love you and care about you? Are they saying, oh, what, she's an adult, I just want her to be happy? That shit? No, that's gross. But I'm the person that, you know, people are like, hey, my old high school boyfriend came up thinking about cheating on my husband. And I'm like, you don't want to be that woman. So just don't. Life's too short, and people call me crass, and I'm an ass, and I'm a dick, and this and that, and I'm just like, no, Oh, because of the 8 anthrax vaccines, I was telling Mom, I said, Mom, I think I'm going to start ordering shit from the Walmart store in Wally World and going and picking it up, because the last time I went, I called a freaking 82-year-old man an asshole because it's a power play. We're seeing power plays everywhere, and it's like a wave. It's going to come to a culmination, and just like a wave in the ocean, it's going to break too. But until then, I'm just going to be staying home a lot. And so there's one exit. They postponed the nonsense bullshit for a little while. I'm sure they'll bring it back in fucking New Mexico, the 50th state in the nation. And I thought Oregon was bad. Venus and Jupiter are in conjunction now. The best viewing time is early tomorrow morning at 5:42 a.m. and I live, I think, Mountain Time. Oh, but he stopped a guy, another old man, to look at his receipt, and he had a lot of stuff in his cart. And then there is another single lady behind him, another single lady behind her, and me. So they're holding up 4 people. I'm thinking fire hazard, dude. Seriously, what would the fire marshal say if he saw this guy blocking and it's open the other doors at least? And I'm like, dude, you're not even going to stand there and look. I didn't say this to him. I said, this ain't Costco. We're not paying Costco. I said, you don't have to show him your receipt. One time I said that, and the woman said, I'm going to listen to you. Next time, I'm not going to let him. I said, you go. People will do stuff. You just have to show them how to stand up for themselves. You have no right. Get out of the way. You're impeding progress. You know what that is? It's retarded. Go fucking stock a shelf. He thinks he's 40, so I'll treat him like a fucking 40-year-old. So there's a guy that was unloading. I said, I want to make an official complaint with that guy. He needs to stop looking at people's receipts. It's nah. They make more money from people stealing stuff. It's called shrink. I used to work at Rite Aid, Watt and Arden in Sacramento back in the 90s. They make more money from people. So don't let it go. We'll make twice as much back. So, don't fucking question my integrity either. That's what I told him one day. Do not question my integrity. Because when people do that, they're telling me what a shitball they are. So, and I got a whole history of my integrity. I got it. And it's funny because a lot of stuff, it was so cool to see, because a lot of stuff I was talking about, I've told in my stories over the years, because I've done this 5 years, I got over 1,800 videos, of how I see things playing around. My stats are good. Yeah, I got one from years ago called Grassroots, getting back to grassroots. Yeah, it's applicable today. Yep. Hey, Ahmad. Have a good night. So, anyway, I think I'm done running my mouth. But the control freaks are and I just don't even deal with it. It's all over. I had a sheriff in Omaha. That's a good story. Big old fat dude. Probably hadn't seen his wiener in 45 years. Just, don't you know what? I'm a sheriff in town. I mean, total, it was like laughable. It was. I was at this place called Guitars and Cadillacs in Omaha. And it was I hated going. It was like I always wanted to go out, but I went out. I was like, why do I come out? I hate this. It's because I like to watch people, but then stupid shit like this happens to me. And I was in the Air Force. We were drinking beers at the dorm. We went out. My friends went off to cruise for chicks. I was standing by a wall. There's a girl over. There's a beer girl over here, and then I was just drinking Bud Light. I drank like a white boy, a teenage white boy, frat boy. I did. But I drank like 30 of them, so yeah, like a frat boy. Anyway, so he and I was noticing that the lines at the bar were really, really long, but I'm like, I'm just gonna get them from her because there's no line. So I was getting them from her, and I bought like 3 of them. So I'm chatty. I start up a conversation. You know, I'm in there and this was before Don't Ask, Don't Tell, mind you. This was, I got a call from time. I know who did it, but I got a call say, this is so-and-so from Offutt Air Force Base military. You're under investigation for your sexual conduct. And I'm like, dude, shut up. You're sitting in your fucking living room in your fucking underwear, you dipshit. You know? I mean, come on. Anyway, back to the original story. So, evidently the girl that I was talking, she was telling me she was in nursing school. She was moving to California, to Santa Barbara, to go to school. And the school she was going to was a school that people that I went to high school with went to. So I was telling her what I knew about the school, right? And evidently, she was a cool chick, you know, but I'm not like cruising for chicks, you know. I was like, that was not my headspace. And so, but she was dating the fucking dickhead frat boy, you know, fucking meathead, go big red asshole that was the doorman, right? And evidently, he felt threatened with our conversation. So, as the bouncer that he was and the big guy, he fucking dragged me outside, and then the sheriff was out there, and he fucking had the sheriff call. The sheriff came, they had me escorted off the property through, and I'd been drinking, and my friends are wherever they are. I can't get into their car, you know? So, and take me out into the median, in past the middle of the street, and said, don't come back. I didn't do anything wrong. I have been made, if there is I'm an asshole magnet. If there's an asshole in their room, they will fucking come at me. The thing is I give as good as I get. I give it good. I was thinking about that today. I said, Mom, it was hard growing up, Ma. I ain't mad about it now, Ma. But it was hard growing up because everybody was so hard on me. Like, critical. Like I had to, you know, and I'm like, and I was a kid. I mean, I was mature and stuff like that, but I mean, it's like my dad used to yell at me in the car if I wouldn't pronounce the words right. And I had tics throughout the years, different idiosyncrasies that I had. And there was a period of time that I would say gots. I gots to go to sleep. I'm tired. And I can't rationalize it now, but there's a period of time that I did that. It made sense to me, and I would get freaking screamed at for it. That's rude. You know? So I ain't mad about it. Only thing, he's just, you know, he had a head injury. I can't freaking really, I mean, he's just, actually, no, I got no excuse. He's just a dick. He's the guy that used to, that's how I know what assholes are, man. I come from them. I try really hard every day not to be one. He's the guy that we used to, in Atascadero, he and his buddy, Lynn Dernbaugh. Remember those stories, Ma? Lynn Dernbaugh? Sometimes she remembers stories from a long time ago. But they take empty 50-gallon drums, and in Atascadero, in the main part of the road, not really too far from his own, anyway, from his mom's real estate office, those 50, and he would roll them down the undulations, the where they cut out the hill to make the highway, right? It's for irrigation and stuff, whatever. Anyway, and they used to into the interstate, the highway that runs through there, the main highway, just you know, so cars can dodge them. So I mean, I speak from a lot of personal experience from fucking the weird shit that people do just because they feel like it. They're just destructive. It's just they want to do what they want, you know, and they don't have that in them to not do that, to not cause harm. And we're seeing that on a large scale everywhere. So, what are you going to do? Anyway. Yeah, a lot, you know. And I've been, Lord knows I've made my fair mistakes. I've made a lot of mistakes. And I'm glad I've never really seriously hurt anybody else. I just made a lot of people not ever want to talk to me again, mostly. But when I speak in terms of things that are matters of facts to me, but it's amazing to me how it's funny. It's just always been, when I tell somebody, I'm like, as I see it, my perception sees it, this is my part in it, and this is your part in it. You know? And I just talk in matters of facts of things that they do that they don't like hearing the reality or as I see it. And so I was telling that, so back to the Wally World story. So I'm like, I think I can remedy that by just ordering my stuff online. And the only thing I get there is like, they have these big old bags of cat food. So I'm going to just order one of those. And there's not a lot of stuff I get there. I've really learned we don't need much. Me and Mom, we eat less than we eat less than a freaking teenage boy. You know, so between the two of us, and I haven't had any kind of appetite lately, but I've been working out, and I'm seeing the results, so that I'm happy about that. That's kind of good. I feel good when there's results, because there's a lot of times that I'm I don't lift weights to freaking, I don't do it for results. I do it because I got to stay strong, because, you know, this anthrax vaccine, freaking man, it does weird stuff to people. And I've lost my ability for bullshit, you know. I mean, when kids are throwing a tantrum, I'm like, freaking, man, that's got to be tough, you know. Or I'll ask the kid, you know, what, I don't like with the kid, like, what are you going through? What's happening with you? You'll be all right. It's usually they're not getting their way. There's something that they want. And something that they want probably isn't very good for them anyway. Yeah. It's taken me a lot of years. That's what I was talking about, to learn discipline. You know, because I was under the frequency of control for so many years. So, like, you know, but I was kind of a wild child too. I did my drinking and partying, 15. Smoked pot for the first time when I was 12. But didn't do it again until I was 15. It's funny, the dude that was like my brother's best man in his first wedding was the first person that ever got me. It's the first time I ever got drunk. He bought it for me. Sean Vincent. Yeah. It was warm peppermint schnapps. I freaking threw up for like 2 hours. It was nasty. It was warm and it's gross. I can't eat peach Jolly Ranchers, and they stopped making them. Anyway, so once I really, you know, once I was like, really had freedom. I mean, because I never even had cars or anything like that, you know. I was always walking or getting rides or something like that, or taking buses, public transportation, but but once I got, like, when, you know, I got to live how I wanted to live. What I needed to do is learn the frequency of control for myself. You know, when I got to Omaha, my drinking got heavy. I got a DUI on off at Air Force Base. They didn't kick me out, but they almost did. It scared me enough into sobriety. And then that's really where I learned to reel things in. Unfortunately, man, these fucking anthrax vaccines, man, that's what I was paying attention to today. Is it's like something happens. Like, I'll start to get overwhelmed. And I'll feel it, like my endocrine system. It's like, literally, it feels like if anybody's ever been electrocuted, that's what it feels like. I can equate it to that. Not to the extent that I felt like when I was a kid, but still, it's like electricity being induced into my field when emotions come up in me. And when things happen and if there's under certain conditions, you know, my wick, it gets shorter. My little ability to contain my mouth gets smaller. That's why I keep my hair so short, because I'm a hothead. It's one of the things, okay, if I don't get hot, then that'll reduce my chance of freaking just keep staying chill. Because my sister, it's like, I get annoyed and it's like, and then blah, there goes my mouth. And I don't want to be, God, if I get to live to be as old as Ma is, Ma's 71, I don't want to have gone 23 years trying to keep that, you know, not saying things. Yeah, I don't. I want to be that chill person. But I'm pretty animated anyway, so I don't know if I'm ever going to be that. But it's getting hard out there. It's getting hard. It's getting hard, man. There's a lot of stupid nonsense. And see, it's just the thing is like every year is more stupid nonsense. So it's just like, that's a pile of stupid nonsense. And that I've seen in Chuck. But it's just like, it's getting insurmountable. It's getting ridiculous. I'm tired of watching people videotape fights. Put that shit down and break that shit up. Nobody wants to get hurt. Nobody wants to get... They're fucking kids, dude. It's dumb. So many parents have failed. Mine included. It's alright. You just love them while you got them anyway, right? And there's less they're like a narcissistic weirdo. And I can say that because the last time I saw my dad, last 2 times I saw my dad, see, he used to be a cross-country trucker. And and I lived in Omaha, and I was on 80, you know, and he would come and see me. And he would stop through it, and he'd park his truck, and I'd pick him up, and we'd go eat together. It worked out nice. And then I asked him, I bought a house, I was really proud of it and all that stuff. And Mom had a room down in the basement, and it was like after 7:30. I mean, we ate, and I was like, come over and see my house. You know, me and my dogs. I was really excited. And I cooked for him. That's what it was. We didn't go out to eat that time. I cooked for him. So he came over, I made him a plate. He was there all of 37 minutes. He ate, he wolfed down his food. And he's like, all right, if you take me back to the truck, I'd like to get going again. I gave him a tour. And you could see him, like, he was on the other, we walked just past the door of where Mom's room is. She'd been long asleep. You know, she can't, there's no window. Her room was in the basement. There's, like, a little dormer area kind of thing. Laundry room and then, like, a other area. And it was just, and then after that, I'd say, okay, let me know when you're coming. He's like, oh, I passed through. It was 2:30 in the morning. And then shortly after that, he retired. He stopped doing it because he was in his 60s. He was like 66, 67, or something like that. And last time, and so I was like, all right, as long as I'm taking care of Mom, I don't get to know you. All right. And there's weird stuff, like I said, about how when I was born anyway. So, and then on my 40th birthday, he and my brother got me a trip with them. We all took a trip together. We left Las Vegas. We all flew to Las Vegas got there from our places. Into Las Vegas. Walked around that night. There was like hundreds and thousands. It seemed like there's just people everywhere, like it was when I was in New York City. But I'm like, I just was so weird that there's like babies and stroll, and I'm like, it's literally Sin City, and this is what people like to do. But we had to meet there to take a bus out to a little airport where you caught a little plane, and then flew that out to the Barton Ranch in Utah, I think. And then you stay the night in a Dude Ranch. Well, yeah. Monsoons were going through, so it was iffy for the second group. They almost didn't make it, but we were in the first one. So you got to sleep in like covered wagons if you wanted. It was cool. And then you got a little helicopter ride down into the Grand Canyon, and you raft down there 3 nights, 4 days, head out, on the last day, and that was freaking cool. That was really freaking sweet. That was like probably the best. That was the best time I ever had with them. And then my dad was like 68, and it was weird because he had a head injury. So it's like I can't take nothing he says. It's just everything is he had a head injury. It's just he's traumatic head injury. They just, they're like us autistics. They just say what's ever on their mind, And so there's like this young girl. I mean, she's probably, I don't know, in her 20s, something like that. She was there. And he was like flirty with her. I'm like, my God, my dad is the dirty old man. And I mean, it was like, he wasn't inappropriate or anything like that. I can just read energy. And then when we were over off, like, cause you at night you break off and you go camp wherever the boat docks. You go find a place to pitch a tent, put up a cot, whatever you want to do, make your camp for the night. And we were talking, and my brother was like, "So, Dad, what do you want to do? You're 70, the big 7-0's coming up, right? Big 7-0. What do you want to do?" He's like, "I don't care as long as I'm having sex." And I was like, all right, guess I don't need to freaking make any effort of participating with you on that day. So that was the last time I saw him. That was 8 years ago. And it was like 5 years ago, 4 years ago, he had a hip replacement. Because that same crash that he crashed his head open, he has cracked his head open, and he had a freaking dude. It's amazing the guy's alive. And he came back so much, he was always the Iron Man. So, like, he had his freaking, the hardware that he had in his hip, he had that made into a paperweight, had it on his desk when he worked at his mom's office in real estate. Yeah, so, I mean, and he's always been, like, he couldn't do, like, the run anymore, but he would do the swimming and triathlons and stuff like that, and he's, he'll be the guy that, is in his 70s, he hears Avila Pismo Beach has 20-foot swells, and he's gonna go out and swim in it, He's the machismo, he's the fucking man, he's the fucking blah, 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 and I was his final mistake, so he was always a dick to me. Yeah, so, and he never respected women, so, and he didn't do a whole lot of favor for my sister either, and that's just how it is. There's just so many, there's thousands and millions of stories, just like mine, of just people freaking not being good to people, not being good to people. I don't want to be one of those people, man, and it's like, I fight it, I fight myself every day. I'm one of those. And I hear people casually talk about us like, and those people that just like, oh, God is gonna heal ya. I'm like, I work real hard on using the knowledge that God gives me to heal myself. Is what I'm trying to do. See, because flower is great medicine and stuff like that. Cannabis. I'm too busy. I'm too active and I was thinking about, that earlier. It goes with learning how to reel yourself in, It's cool, self-will run wild, but at some point we got to get old enough, mature enough that we got to learn how to reel ourselves back in. Talk ourselves off our own ledge. I can teach people how to do that. I got a lot of tools. I got a lot of years, man. I've been looking for answers, looking solutions. I just don't want to hurt. I just don't want to be in pain. I don't want to hurt anybody else. What can I do? I don't want to drink. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to take my spirit. Live from ego. It's dangerous. I'm too clumsy. So I had to learn how to reel myself back. I can teach people how to reel yourself in. Choosing healthier outlets. Whatever you want to do, man. There's so many things on this planet for people to do, and the stuff that they're choosing is just weird. Well, I know there's a lot of freaking addiction, a lot of freaking all that stuff, you know, and it don't discriminate by economic background. I mean, what we're seeing, all these politicians, these career politicians, they're lushes, man. Their brains are totally fried from alcohol. People are like, oh my God, that woman talked about how she shit her bed. She shit the bed. Because people care more about how gross and ugly, nasty people. They don't need to see that in the media, unless they're like, hey, I can identify that because that's how. I mean, that's what I think about. Like you got I don't even like pranks. Those relationship, like these couples that do things to prank I don't even like that. I don't like when people shove wedding cake in people's faces. I don't like that. Nothing about that's good. And people think it's cute. And people think it's tradition. That's not fucking my tradition to disrespect people. Because I've done that. I've been that person. And it causes harm. And you get to the point, you got to learn how to reel yourself back in. And there's some days, man, I'll say shit to people and I'll be like, bam, wow, that was a little... You know when I do that, I got to go back and make an amends. Yeah. But that guy at Walmart, Fire Hazard, I'm going to call him Fire Hazard. Yeah. Hey, Fire Hazard. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to order my stuff online.